everybody, this is Miss Gunther, and this video is going to be a little overview of our lesson for the week. We are going to be talking about North America today out of our World Cultures and Geography textbook, Chapter 4, Section 1.1. And to start off, we are going to go over our basic content area vocabulary of this section. So that's going to be your vocabulary words like culture and immigrant, diversity, tolerance, and indigenous. So whenever you're reading the chapter, going through everything, just be paying attention to these words because they're important. They're words that you need to know. And while I flip over here to show y'all. Okay, so this is what your textbook looks like. All of these highlighted words, important. Remember them. What you're going to do with these vocabulary words, so that way I know that you're practicing them, that you're using them, is you're going to use your free word association vocabulary strategy that we have already learned and practiced and perfected. So just a quick review. I want you guys to go on your Popplet app on your tablets or your laptop, and you're going to create a Popplet with the center bubble saying, when I think of the word blank, it reminds me of ... So I want you to fill in the blank with one of our vocabulary words from the chapter. For my example, I use the word immigrant. So when I think of the word immigrant, it reminds me of different cultural backgrounds, being kind to others who are different than me, modern day warfare at the Texas and Mexico border, stuff like that. Things that the word reminds me of. So I want you guys to be able to do that. I want you to do that with as many vocabulary words as you can in probably a 15-minute time period. Before we dig deeper into the text though and start reading, we're going to do our anticipation guide, and that's our guide that has about 3 questions. We are going to determine if we agree with the statement, if we think the statement is factual, by putting a check in the yes or no boxes. And I want you to write a reason why you think that it's factual, why you think that it's true, or why you don't think it's factual, or why you don't think it's true. During reading, you're going to be doing your study guide. The study guide's going to have, this one has about 3 questions. Yours is probably going to have 3 to 5 questions, just for you to be able to follow along while you're reading. So that way I know you're paying attention, that you're getting all of the information, and we can smooth out the bumps and bruises of misclarity, misinformation, stuff like that, so that you guys know what's going on. You're going to do the study guide by yourself, and then when you're done, you can chit-chat and interact with the peer to sort of compare your answers, see what your neighbor said, what you said, all of that kind of stuff. And then as a class, after reading a little bit, we're going to pause and do our analogical guide. So that is our 3-column guide right here that separates our textbook terms versus meanings versus our analogies. So for example, on here, focusing on the word immigrant, an immigrant is a person who takes up permanent residency in another country, and an analogy to me is a traveler, so someone who travels from another country to come to the United States or to Canada to set up another life, basically. Not another life, but a better life here in our country. So we're going to do that with some textbook terms and phrases that might get confusing, just that way you have something to compare it to, something that you already know and that you're familiar with something that obviously is brand new and you're still learning about. After The analogical guide, we're going to do a quick formative assessment, and that's going to be you summarizing a quick question about the section before we move on, obviously, to the next section, and before we move on talking about anything else about North America today. And we are going to do that on our Nearpod apps. You guys are going to, I'll post the question on the board. You guys are going to respond on your Nearpod app. And then once everybody has submitted a response, we are going to go through them and determine which ones we like the most, which ones we think are the best, and why we think they're the best, why we think they make sense. After that, we're going to end our lesson with our reaction guide. So it's the same 3 to 5 questions from our anticipation guide. And we're just going to follow up if we still agree or disagree with the statements that we were given at the beginning before even reading the chapter. And if you agree with them, great. We probably know why you agree with them. The textbook probably gave us that information. We've probably answered it several times in our study guide and in our formative assessments. And then, but if you disagree, I want you to write the reason why you still disagree and why, or what text evidence you have for disagreeing or something probably not making as much sense as you thought it was going to. And then at the very end, we're going to do a summative assessment. This is just going to be an exit ticket. You're going to have 3 questions. One of them is a compare and contrast, so that's probably going to be over your different diversities in the United States and Canada, probably languages spoken. Your second question is going to be geographical, so it's going to be about a place. And then about the history of a place, of a country. And then your third question is going to be a summarizing question. So again, just to sum up the 2 or 3 main concepts that were brought up throughout the chapter and all of that kind of stuff. So I think it's very important that everybody brings their textbooks, brings their access to technology, whether that's your tablet or your laptop, and just be ready to learn about North America today. Thank you.